Alright, we are recording for Saoirse? Saoirse? Something like that in this. Saoirse. How exactly you get that specific pronunciation out of it, I don't know. But I do remember, because as I've mentioned before, I know about the Rippaverse because of the background noise videos I'll watch/listen to while working. And the whole, when this was announced, it was, yeah, this is how you pronounce it, because even they knew, yeah, no one's going to have any idea how to pronounce it. Anyway, Eric July writer, Kanan White artist, Wilson Go colorist, Invisible Art Studio letterer, and Andrew Rodriguez lead editor. Crime and mystery take on all forms in Flores Park, Texas. Its affluence does not preclude it from corruption, both overt and covert. Wouldn't most people expect there to be corruption when you have affluence? Anyway, for crimes that require a more deft touch instead of busting down walls and kicking in doors, a practiced and steady hand and quick wit are called for. Enter Saoirse, private investigator. Her confidence, cunning, and skill are matched only by her deadly beautiful looks. When this femme fatale is tasked with investigating local crime lord Mondo Mansion, Saoirse must bring all of her accolades to bear if she is to infiltrate the boss's ornate and ostentatious party and leave with her life. Alright, it opens with showing her working a bag, mainly kicking at it. And one thing I find a little curious, and it's just in basically also setting up here that, yeah, private investigating isn't anymore like in trying to find cheating spouses or doing background checks. It gets a bit more involved, a bit more risky. So, you have to be basically defining that she has to physically train like this and also has to be ready with a gun. Because to be less prepared than this is to get her killed. Would get yourself killed. But one thing I find curious, the outfit that she's wearing at this time, which presumably is the outfit she was wearing, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's the outfit she was wearing during the workout, is also what she wears when talking with a client. I mean, I get he wanted to introduce her in that, because that's also like in the cover art kind of stuff. That's how she's dressed. So in like there, that's one of the covers in that getup, and then again there, it's like that's clearly how she is meant to be dressed, but it still is. I don't know, that doesn't seem a little disrespectful that you wear your workout clothes to talk to the client. And she even put like a coat over top. I mean, this. What would it be? I genuinely don't know. But what would you call this kind of coat? Because it's really just over her shoulders and her back. I mean, it you can't close that up. I mean, it's very intentional, that design. Anyway, but it's like I feel like it doesn't really count as a coat. It's like somewhere between a coat and a cloak, because it still has sleeves, unlike a cloak. But it basically is only covering your shoulders and back like a cloak is. Anyway, we don't really know who this client is, but it's basically he wants her to deal with this guy who that Mondo Mansion. Yeah, Mansion. And by deal with, he is kind of implying, I want you to go kill him. But an LF certified PI is not a hitman. I'm not sure what LF is referring to, by the way. And that's not explained here. I'm guessing that's something that's mentioned in a different story, because remember the omnibus is in different order than they were published in. So, and they did not do omnibus editions for this. But yeah, so it's basically, yeah, I'm not a hitman or hitwoman, however you want to put it. But the most she will do is still go in, investigate, and get you a motive for the guy to be killed. Not necessarily the most ethical, but I mean, it kind of can better align if you don't want to be, a hitman. But the idea is that, the dude's holding a swanky party, so get in there, get access to files, so you have that information, then get out. That'd be the idea. To achieve this, she is the driver for one of the dates for the guy, which exactly what kind of date, I'm not certain. Because later on it is, there are definitely prostitutes there. Because, it's that kind of party where you're just no expense spared, so naturally you're gonna do that. Because remember, back to the introduction, affluence is not precluded from corruption. Anyway, being the driver, because then she has to park the car, that gets her access to the grounds. Which actually, when you think about it, it's kind of silly, because that means, we see that there are multiple cars there, one motorcycle even, and it's like, you either should have, somebody there to say, hey, driver, you can go in here, and it's like you hang out in the kitchen or something. Or thank you for dropping the person off, we'll see you in a few hours or something like that. You don't stick around. But in any case, she, does have a bag in the back, a dress for her to put on so that she can then, get into the party and everybody thinks she's just a guest. Some kind of standard stuff here. But yes, she swipes the key card from one of the waitresses. Swipes a champagne glass off of the tray that a guy is walking by with, which it shows some kind of surprise. I'm just thinking, every television show and movie that I've seen where they have a party like this, that's what you do. And it's maybe I'm wrong, but I just figured that that's actually kind of the idea. That the people walking around with the drinks like that on the trays, they're not bringing them to anyone specific, or at least they're not typically doing that. They are walking around, so you can just really grab and, put your empty on there. They are just like a roving wet bar kind of situation. So, him being surprised, I don't quite get why. Although, maybe I'm just being confused. Maybe he actually just has one of those fine mustaches there, and it's just making, because his head is kind of small there, and that's just making me think his mouth is open, like, what? Anyhow. She sits down, gets a drink. Man comes up. Madam, I couldn't help myself. Are you here with anyone? I'm alone, just enjoying the... And then another guy shows up. This man isn't bothering you, is he? And, it's... The way I even put it is that this is... Hang on, just... Okay. This seems to be a bit too easy for her. She's got two men walking up to her, and one is trying to compete, or at least is acting in a competitive manner. It's like, is this man bothering you? It's like, the dude literally, just started talking to her a few seconds ago. It's like, is he bothering you? It's like, hasn't even been long enough to decide yet. But, yeah, so, doing that, and it's just, I get it, but it's like, it seems too easy. But I do get that's exactly, what stereotypically you expect a femme fatale to be capable of. That it's just being there and being beautiful. The men try to come to her and will be competitive like that. But it just, I don't know, could let it linger a little bit. But anyway. And, this dude who's in a gray pinstripe suit is, basically... And say, hey, would you like a drink? I'll have whatever you recommend. Cool. I got this thing upstairs where we have our own private bartender. Why don't I bring you there? It's like, really? Again, it's not that easy, okay? I get it. Hang on, I haven't shown you the dress she's in. What's the best one to... It's the best panel for this? I guess that one, kind of. But, it's, that's the initial reveal of her in the dress. And that panel may better explain why it is that, men would just come and do whatever to get her attention. I mean, yes, but not all men are that stupid. Like, enough of us can be like, yeah, but I'm still thinking a little bit up here. I mean, I'm not just going to bring you into the super secret meeting. But I might want to make sure you're waiting for me when I get out. I mean, it's just, come on. But yeah, and it's also, I mean, it's like, sure, let me take you right there, which is where she wants to be. It's just, it seems kind of easy, but I mean, this was in a Rippazine, so it's not a full-length comic book. Here, let me just, I have no idea, I don't feel like counting pages. I'm just, that's how thick it is. Okay, that's really short. I could believe that's on the order of maybe 20 pages, if that. So I get you can't linger, but it's still it seems kind of a crazy speed run. Gets there, uses the stolen ID to gain access, which is also kind of curious because why is your staff getting access? I mean, true, it is explained that this venue, excuse me, has its own staff that can do this stuff. But when she was even talking to the waitress that she stole the ID from, the waitress even said that, yeah, normally when this place is rented out, they don't use us. They like have the caterer, or they just bring in somebody from the outside anyway, which, you know, makes sense as far as, you know, if this is organized crime, that might be part of your syndicate who you bring in. But anyway, still seems odd that, hey, you know, this secret area that has the laptop with, you know, special information we don't want anyone else to see. Obviously, just any random member of the staff can get in there. Again, it's kind of a silly speedrun here, but you know, I actually want to put that in here. Kind of a silly speedrun he's getting to do here. But of course, the guy in the gray suit is not stupid. I mean, he knew that, yeah, she was just trying to get, I mean, she didn't say anything, she didn't do anything to provoke him, to prompt him to taking her back there. He's the one that brought her in. But it's, so it's like, you know, enough rope to hang yourself kind of thing. But yeah, when she got to the laptop, even she's pointing out, surely it's not going to be this easy. Not even lock screen. Not even a lock screen. Damn, nothing interesting. And then, dude's there, turns on the lights. I suspected there was more to you. This isn't the restroom, because that's the ploy she used to try to split off from him. But it's still, I mean, just, come on. It's, yeah. See, it's also, we don't know who this guy is. But there's that part of me that for something like this, it would be funny if it were the guy's like, you know what? This is a party. This is a beautiful one. I'm just going to spend my time with her. I'm not going to go to that meeting. Nope, just not going to go. I'm just going to spend my time. Just imagine how many femme fatale stories would be defeated by that. With a dude just deciding, I'm just going to spend the party with her. I was about to say night with her, but we don't actually need to go that far with it. You don't need the euphemism there. Just, you know, like, nope, not going to do that. Because he might not be needed. He might not be important there. We don't know who he is. So it is just, legitimately, you could do that and defeat so many of these stories. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so yeah, so she's caught. I have a couple questions. Why are this is a mansion group affair? You've got audacity. You have nothing else. You're not a cop. Yeah, you're not a cop. And we don't recognize your kind. Come with me. What does that even mean? We don't recognize your kind. I mean, it's like at the level of organization you are. I don't even think you recognize the cops aside from just, you know, another target. I mean, come on. This is, and it's just the whole. The writing could be a bit tighter there. It's not bad writing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting it's bad writing here. But it is just, we don't recognize your kind. It doesn't really matter. I mean, even if it was a cop, you'd still kill them. Because you can't let them have gotten that close. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. Because even if it's a cop, yes, killing cop, very bad in a story like this. Brings additional heat on you. But they're not stupid enough to do it in a way that it's too obvious the heat on them. And still is. You got too close. Doesn't matter. You got too close. We cannot allow somebody to get this close to us and leave. Even if they got nothing. The fact they tried. That's disrespectful. We need to correct that. He tries to take some kind of swing at her. His hand is open, so it might just be like he was going to grab her, like at the shoulder, kind of like that. She dodges it, which, I mean, makes sense. Hang on. Yeah. The drugs are surely part of the celebration. Is it why Machen is expanding his reach? There wasn't really a mention of drugs earlier that I can recall. Maybe I just overlooked it because it's, a whatever kind of thing. I mean, it's like, obviously, drugs are going to be one of the things. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything here. Just some sort of deal is all we really know. That's it, which is not much. Oh, hang on, I also just realized. Okay, she's leaving her stole. She has both a stole and a small jacket. The stole she left on a chair. The jacket she has for a little bit. Why exactly she removes it? I guess to make it a little harder to spot her. Though in certain ways she stands out more. But that's not quite the right sound. But anyway, one thing though that happens here that I get she was training earlier with, kicking a punching bag. I get that. But I don't find this shot believable that it has here. I don't know if I can hold it up very well. Down here. Because it looks like she's doing a sweeping kick, and it depicts it breaking his lower leg. And it's just... I mean, not that I think that such an attack is impossible. And it's also I'm not a violent person, I don't know this stuff, but it still is. That doesn't seem reasonable without the foot being braced. Like, if the foot can swing out, just, picks up even a little bit from her kick, it's like... Then... it's just going to translate up the leg, and it's not going to break. He's going to fall. He'll be in pain also. That just doesn't seem reasonable. Now, if she had, because if it's like this, so the foot here, like she's going like this, I don't see how you're breaking the leg doing that. But if she'd gone like that, oh yeah, I absolutely believe that then. And yes, that she could do it, because she is physically trained. She knows what she's doing. And if you hit that way, now the foot is serving as brace because you're hitting the leg down into the ground. So you're hitting the foot down and it's serving as a brace. But it doesn't seem braced at all, so I don't really get that. So she runs from him, takes off the I guess silver, I could say, for the jacket, takes that off, leaves it. So now she's just walking around in just the dress. Finds the two prostitutes. It's easier to say that than hooker for whatever reason for my mouth, or at least when I'm angled down. Maybe it's got something to do with the angle of the throat. Regardless. And just sits down with them. Yeah. What it turned out, I honestly didn't. These other prostitutes talking. I honestly didn't expect it, honey. I honestly didn't expect it. Honey, are you with Mando? I am. Apparently, I'm going to have some new co-workers. So it's, yeah. Because one beautiful woman amongst many kind of camouflage here. Doesn't really work too well. She does get spotted. Has to run for it. Well, it's also she can hear the noise, and so jumps out because of that. Starts running. Is being chased. Runs into a group that features a woman with shorter purple hair. I think got only about, that long, or shorter, who starts fighting with her. Okay. And, I mean, just shows that apparently they're, well, Saoirse is probably a little bit better, but, they both know martial arts. And, then Saoirse, in order to escape, because apparently they are up on, the second floor still, just, hits her in the face and grabs her by the face and jumps off the side of the building. Puts the other woman beneath her to be the cushion. Hits the ground. Your outnumbered lady cut this out. And that is why they call it the Great Equalizer. She pulls out a gun. Which, I mean, okay, there's 3 guys there that just deal with, but it still is... I'm not so she's going to be able to shoot that fast, but that's where it ends. So, yeah. That's just where it ends. I'm not sure what exactly want to place this. I'm not sure. I still have to think on it. Because, so many notes here. This is very much an introductory story. I have no clue how any of this connects to anything in the Rippaverse. Okay? I really don't. There was a mention that with the client, she did some investigation of him and did determine that he is not connected to, I can't remember the last name, but it was Darren's last name from ISOM. So it's like, okay, you're not part of his criminal organization. And then, stuff with drugs, and there was also mention there that looked like this guy is interested in expanding, and, well, not just expanding, but getting new recruits, because he wants to include some schools in his territory. So it wouldn't just be selling drugs to the school kids, but also getting them to be, recruiting them into his organization. But it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, how does this factor into anything? How does this connect with anything? I don't know. So seems very introductory with no connection anywhere else. Maybe later stories will prove the connection. I don't know. I do also make the note that it is kind of obvious. I'm saying, yeah, she was speedrunning the getting into the meeting, well, getting into the information. It didn't work, but it's like, it's kind of generic what was happening there. Kind of speedrun. But it's not like Gooding, though, because Gooding also was generic, in my opinion. But this is all, like, beat for beat. Oh, I bet this is going to happen, and that's what happened. I bet this is what's going to happen. That's what happened, and so on, so on, so on. This is more, it's following the formula, but it's not as, like, in my face about it. It's like, well, not like punching me in the face with how it's going. Gooding felt like that, because, like, oh, yeah, he meets a girl. Well, in high school. Of course, they're going to get married. And we're not going to see any kind of difficulty, any kind of trouble with that. No, it's not easy. She is training. She's not just mysteriously capable of all this stuff. No, she's training. She's experienced. That's obvious. She's thought things through to try to do this. It's like, she is competent. I'm not to suggest that Gooding was incompetent, but everything... And it's like, Gooding should just be buying lottery tickets. He seemed like everything was aligning for him. Saoirse, it's not that things are necessarily aligning for her, but that she knows how to handle when things don't align for her. So it doesn't feel, even though it is still kind of generic, or maybe I should say formulaic, it works. It works. It's not bad. But it still is. I don't know if I want to go with either a weak recommendation or the positively flavored failed recommend. I don't know. So those are using the number labels 1 and 2. Well, 2 for the weak recommendation, 1 for the failed recommend. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I just had one thought that... Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I think I'll go with that for the reasoning. Okay. 1, so... failure to recommend, but positively flavored, because as tempting as it is to go to weak recommendation, I suspect some of that feeling comes from an interest in what happens next for her, as opposed to this story itself. And it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, it can be fair to judge on potential, but this is still kind of formulaic. I don't know what's going on. So it is like, I'm not even sure if maybe it's like I got chapter 1 of a 30 chapter book just on her. And it's like, okay, I'd like to see chapter 2, but I don't have that. So, or at least I don't think I have it, because the next up is Yaira. So yeah, I think though, failure to recommend, because I am interested in seeing more, but I can't say it's to the level of that I was enjoying, like it was with Isom. I was enjoying more so with Isom, where it's like, okay, I'm getting into this, I'm connecting with this. Let's see what happens next. This is more of a, okay, yeah, it's kind of interesting what's going on here. What happens next? Oh, I don't get to know. Okay. So it's like I'm not necessarily feeling the connection there, but I did feel it more so with Isom. But I'll also admit here, at least, I don't know if I'll remember when I write it up in the review. The fact that I don't have the part 2, or at least I don't knowingly have it, maybe it's in one of the later stories. The fact that I don't have that might also be part of what's weighing on me here. To make me less interested, to make me more willing, I should say, to not consider the potential. But then is also, as I think about it with Isom, at the end of Isom 3, it's like, I for just Isom's story of, like, putting the suit back on, I felt satisfied there. I don't necessarily feel an interest in the potential for future stories with him based on that. Am I somewhat interested in future stories with him? Somewhat. But I don't have a strong sense of potential from it. Because that story finished. I'm sure he'll be around. The other stories that's split off from it, like the stuff with Lepredo and Salient, the stuff with the demons, more to reconcile with Darren because he's still around. Maybe Santuan as well. Yeah. And it's like, kind of interested in that, kind of curious where that goes, but I don't know. I don't feel a connection to keep going with that. And at this point, I know I'm just rambling. It's weird because I know this is subjective, I'm just trying to defend what I'm feeling subjectively, but I also do recognize that I'm kind of at an edge, and I'm trying to just pick an arbitrary point that would put me either here or here. And it's just, I do feel, though, that it seems a nice beginning, but I don't know any of it continuing. I don't know if I would even see that despite how thick this is. So I don't think I should judge on potential here for what's coming. Yeah. And it is just maybe because I had Isom 2 and Isom 3. When I read Isom 1, potential could impact me. I don't know. But it was also, I was just like, okay, yeah, things are going here. I'm getting it. I'm connecting. I don't feel the connection here. It's just I wonder. I mean, I know she's going to get out of it, but, wonder slightly how. But at the same time, I don't see, I don't really care. Because I don't know how this connects to anything. I don't know. See, even with Salvage, it's like, okay, he has super hearing, it seems. She's also PI. But it's like, okay, is there anything that makes her special? Doesn't seem that way, but it's also no mention of Excepts at all. I mean, it's like, I don't know how this connects with anything, aside from, it's in the same place. So it's just, yeah, I don't feel the connection. I don't feel how it connects with the rest, other than just happens to be here, but doesn't seem to be concerned with anything else. Alright, so next up will be Yaira. After Yaira, by the way, will be the Saints and Sinners stories, then the Horsemen, the Horsemen, Welcome to Forest Park, and then the Horseman number 1. When I was holding up the image, one of the pictures we saw, 3 people. Saoirse was one of them. Here. This one. So Saoirse, obviously there. That's Gooding. This is the Horseman. Because I'm pretty sure that is him. Because again, it's I know some. I have some familiarity. Okay, so obviously that's the guy there holding it, holding the helmet. Let me just. Okay. So Catch and Kill. That's a completely different art style. So definitely not. Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely the Horseman. Looking at these alternate cover arts for the Horseman #1. So in theory, there's a connection between them. So maybe that will give us some continuation for the story. Catch and Kill is also Rippazine's story. But then we get Alpha Core and Bloodruth, both #1s. I wouldn't think connect back to Saoirse. And then Dirty Deeds at the end that I don't really know anything about. I don't know if that would connect in with anything. I kind of doubt it because it looks like it involves aliens. So, yeah, I got no idea if we're ever going to learn more about... Well, if I'm ever going to learn more about Saoirse out of this. Alright. I wish I could say more, but it's... And I guess, in a way, that's also it. I don't know what more I can say. So, again, I feel like failure to recommend... Positively flavored, but still fail to recommend is the proper one. Proper one to go with. So, yeah. See you next time with Yaira #1.